Officially Monday. Happy Monday, Charleston, South Carolina. You're looking forward to sunny skies today and a high of 85 degrees. That doesn't sound so bad. You're already sitting at 80, but the city going to be flirting with record highs again later this week. So kind of had a nice mild start to the morning. I hope you enjoyed it. We had a front move through that turned that heat dial back just a little bit, but now it's cranking right back up across most of the south as we expect that heat to soar once again. Take a look at the forecast highs for today all along the Gulf from Corpus Christi, Texas into New Orleans and Tampa. We're talking upper 80s and lower 90s, which is a bit above average for this time of year. Memphis, forecast for 87 for today. DC, just sizzling, 93 degrees when you should be in the upper 70s. The forecast highs for tomorrow, a little bit closer in DC. You'll have some milder air building in, lower 80s for your high there. But Jacksonville, 94 degrees, your forecast, 92 in New Orleans tomorrow. You can see some record highs all along the Gulf Coast up into Georgia and South Carolina for Wednesday. So the heat sticking around through the week as this dome of high pressure remains in control around the Gulf Coast and across the south, and then it builds even farther north, shoving that jet stream north and displacing the potential for any type of cool air wells to the north. So this heat certainly sticking around. Thursday, we're talking about the potential for record highs all across the southeast once again. In fact, the forecast for Thursday in Atlanta, 94 degrees, the old record 90. In Jacksonville, the forecast 95, the old record 96. So you can see where there is unseasonably hot temperatures just really sticking around. Same thing for Friday, potential record highs all across the same place. So, Alex, it may be the first day of fall, but it is not feeling anything like it across a good portion of the southeast.
Not even a little bit, my goodness. Now, from the heat levels to carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, the numbers in the global climate report for August, well, they're not good. Our Paul Parker takes a look at that in Examination Earth.
The latest global climate report for the month of August is in and reveals that sea ice coverage at both the North and South Pole were below average. Carbon dioxide was at a record level for the month at 410 parts per million. And temperatures averaged across the planet were 1.66 degrees above average, tying 2015 and 2017 as the second warmest August on record. Ocean temperatures were at an all-time record for the month. These warm waters in part responsible for the extreme intensity of Hurricane Dorian. Climate studies project that hurricane intensities will increase this century. Stronger, slower storms, combined with rising sea levels and higher rainfall rates, means hurricanes are likely to have more serious consequences on society in the coming decades. For now, the trends are unmistakable, and above average temperatures like these will be here for the foreseeable future.
And meanwhile, the United Nations Climate Action Summit got underway today. The Secretary General telling delegates to show up with concrete plans, not the beautiful speeches, looking for definitive ways to advance the Paris Climate Accord of 2015. President Donald Trump, who is now in attendance there at the Climate Summit today, plans to pull the U.S. from the Paris Climate Agreement. Legally, he can't do so until November 4th of 2020. Coincidentally, though, that is also the day after Election Day. All right, well, let's continue to talk about this because we have no doubt seen a bit of a difference when we go back in the decades to where we are now. The fall season, you take September, October, November, and you look at the average temperatures, you've certainly seen a bit of a change. Look at where we were back in the 70s. This is the country as a whole, the United States as a whole. This is where we were. Now, the white line shows you sort of the variation here when it comes to the season. Some up and downs. There have been some cooler times, there have been some warmer times, but all in all, when we take a look at the trajectory, it is in the up direction. In fact, we've seen about a 2.5 degree increase across the country when it comes to the fall season. You can break it down by city as well, and you see more of the same. Atlanta, yes, there have been some variations here as we work our way through the years, but all in all, the upward trajectory continues. 2.4 degree increase in Atlanta. You see more of the same in Denver. We've seen a good almost 3 degree increase, 2.8 from the early parts of the 70s to where we are now. And then our last stop takes us to Cleveland, where we have seen about a 2.5 degree increase as well. So the fall seasons, they have gotten a little bit warmer here. You see 2.5, close to 3 degrees, and it doesn't sound like much, but when it comes to climate, it is a lot.
That is a lot, and of course, as the average goes up, those outliers can also get hotter as well. So you're seeing that summer-like feel last a bit longer, and that's actually what we've been seeing across the South, really, where a lot of places are on track for their first or second hottest September on record. On track for their first hottest September. Lake Charles and Pensacola, Memphis, Chattanooga, Atlanta, Tallahassee, all on track for their second hottest September on record. We've had a ton of above average temperatures, and a good portion, in fact I'd say pretty much 2/3 of the country going to be on track for very likely above average temperatures. You see it here September 30th through October 6th, as we don't really see a huge pattern change in allowing cooler air back in. Fall foliage, the latest report, you can see a little bit ongoing in the northeast, some around the upper Mississippi Valley as well. As far as peak timing for that fall foliage, finally getting to see some of those nicer colors. You can see, especially late September, we're seeing it around New England and northern Minnesota and out into portions of the Rockies. So Alex, everyone waiting for that color change and a nice cool down at some point.
Yeah.